Hello, this is Rocky Marciano. When I was heavyweight champion of the world, they called me the Brockton Blockbuster. You find out why.
Welcome to the Rocky Marciano Archives, a channel dedicated to the life and career of the immortal champion. In this upload, we take a brief look at a rare occurrence in the career of Rocky Marciano, namely, a loss. It came in early 1947, predating Rocky's first official pro debut against Epperson in March that same year. To set the scene as we zigzag through Marciano's early career, our future champion has recently been honorably discharged from the Army after experiencing the ups and downs of service life, both in the ring and out. His explosive right hand has suffered damage, yet not enough to preclude him from continuing to enter the roped arena at the tail end of 1946, whilst still holding on to the dream of forging a career in his beloved sport of baseball, leading us into the heavy winter of January 1947. Again, the following is abridged from the Archives' own John Cameron's biography, Redemption: The Life of Rocky Marciano, Volume 1, 1923 through 1949. We hope you get something out of this. I had initially heard rumors that soon after returning to Brockton, Rocky had taken part in an amateur tournament. In fact, the Massachusetts State Championships held in the Mechanics Building, Boston to be exact. Had this been correct then, it would put to rest any idea that his hand had been an impediment in continuing to dabble in boxing. I had the name of an opponent. I even had an image, but I could not find the definitive proof. I could not find the account, dated and signed by the press of the time, which led me to believe that the event must have taken place a year later. That is until I was contacted by a Mr. Cecil W. Gardner of the Boston Library, who found the proof validating the bout, thus helping to add to our understanding of Marciano's evolution as a fighter. On January 4th, 1947, Rocky did indeed find himself fighting in Boston. His opponent this night was believed to be a game but outgunned Jim Connolly. But whether this was as part of the Massachusetts Championships is unclear. What is certain, however, is that on the evening of Saturday, January 11th, under the name of Rock Marciano, the first known instance that the future champ would appear, under the name that he would later make famous, he again found himself in Boston, where he blew away the previously unheard-of Lou Trocher, or Thrasher, in the first round. The fact that this result was posted up under the title of Amateur Boxing at Mechanics Building may indicate that this was not part of the championship tourney itself, but perhaps a preliminary that led to the finals, which took place the following week. There is so little extant information regarding this tournament, even the local press gave but a cursory nod to the preliminaries, making it, at this time, impossible to say for certain as to how far Rocky progressed. Perhaps his participation was the culmination of the previous bouts in Boston, and his appearance on the night of Friday, January 17th, again in the Mechanics Building, was as a finalist. Potentially, this may have been the first stage of the competition. It would have been unusual to have a final on a Friday night. Unusual, but not unheard of. Yet in whatever capacity Rocky was at least present, or to be exact, Roscoe Marchigiano, as the Boston Globe hailed him, was in attendance. Under whichever constantly morphing name he appeared, however, one thing was certain, and that was the fact that he would find himself on the receiving end of defeat. His conqueror, who happened to be defending the title he had won the previous year, was a hulking tannery worker from Lynn on Massachusetts' North Shore, and not South Boston, as reported in the results column of the Boston Globe, which credited Roscoe as from Boston. Robert Albert Bob Girard wasn't only big, he gained the moniker of Big Bear during his years in the Navy, where he found himself a challenger for the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. He was also smart, with fast, pulverizing hands. His one drawback, however, was, like his opponent this night, the very brittleness of those tools of his trade. If he failed to connect properly, he would, in his own words, "Feel the pain right down to my toes," which led him to box on the offensive whenever this occurred, possibly costing him victory over several less than worthy opponents. "How do you think I beat Rocky? I beat him because it was 3 rounds, said Girard in a magnanimous gesture towards the man he had defeated. There were 100 guys who might have stayed 3 rounds with The Rock, but no man in the world was gonna beat Rocky in 15 rounds. Not Dempsey, not Ali, not anybody. Every time he hit you, you saw a flash of light. You either grabbed him or you moved back, because if he hit you twice, you're gone." Girard's victory was potentially aided by Rocky's raw power being hampered, thereby making him unable to land twice, for as the Brockton Enterprise, in a small, almost overlooked paragraph mentioned, Rocky Marciano of this city, suffering an injured hand in a preliminary bout. Is this referencing the Trocher meeting from the week before, or perhaps another bout that very night? Had fought and lost to Girard in the final heavyweight class bout. It appears that hand of his was perhaps not quite healed after all. Rocky never spoke openly of these early bouts, or at least his recollections were either never recorded or quickly lost. Thus one can only speculate as to his feelings at tasting defeat. Perhaps, as we uncover facets of his character as we move along, this loss may have been seen by him as a failure and perhaps signed to move on and away from boxing, convincing him to chase his baseball dream. Frustratingly, those who are in the know are not saying. Bob Girard never turned his amateur credentials into a professional career in the ring, this Navy veteran choosing instead to serve the public as a firefighter in civilian life, a career that would eventually claim his life at the relatively young age of 60 when this beloved husband, father, and friend to many succumbed to black lung. Thank you, Robert Albert Girard, for serving your country on both sea and land. We here remember you. Thank you for listening. Until the next time, we will see you down the road.
If you like this content, then hit the subscribe button. To really support this channel, consider joining for just over $1 a month and unlock ad-free members-only content. Every member will play a key part in revealing the real Rocky.
I just enjoyed combat. I just enjoyed the sport that I had learned so well, and I had practiced so much that when the bell rang, I did a job. I could concentrate on the opponent.
It was a great, great career for me. I'm proud and very happy to talk about it. Sometimes I wonder why I was such an aggressive man in the ring.